How do you know that you're making the right choice?
Yeah, be honest with you, I didn't know. I think for all the entrepreneurs, our journey is full of uncertainty. The blizzard continued for the whole night.
They must have been freaking out. Somebody's getting fired now.
Exactly.
You saved their company.
We saved their company. You are forbidden to go out.
Nobody knew what was going on. Everything was shutting down. How in the world did you find your first customer?
All my friends and family around me thought I'm crazy. He sat down with me, look at my eyes. I think you're crazy. I can also feel that is your dream. Yes,
He was
definitely.
your guardian angel.
I talked to my baby at my belly.
You guys are working together.
I told him that mom loves you and everybody has dream. Mom is not only chasing my own dream, but I also want to set up an example for you.
April Jin is the founder of Fortune and Beyond, a Maryland-based boutique CPA firm providing businesses and high-net-worth clients with holistic accounting, tax, and advisory services. In just a few short years, April has grown the firm to over 600 clients and over $800,000 of revenue, and she did all this during a global pandemic and while carrying her first child. This year, she was recognized for the 40 Under 40 Award by the Asian American Chamber of Commerce, and today I get to sit down with April and learn about some of the biggest challenges she encountered along her startup journey.
Thank you so much for being with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, I love to know this because when we chatted a little bit beforehand, I found out that you, prior to starting your company, you had a really steady career with a very predictable path forward as well.
Right.
What changed? What made you want to take the risk and become an entrepreneur instead?
Yeah, that's a great question. As you just mentioned, I was in a very stable job, a government job, comfortable, steady, a lot of people's dream job. Yeah, but I just feel that that's not a fit for me. At the time, I have a coworker, a senior coworker who will retire in that year. His daily routine is very strict, and his personality is very quiet. Yeah, every day in the morning, 9 a.m., he will step into the office silently, quietly, expressionlessly, lower his head, just step from the door to his seat. And every day in the afternoon, 5 p.m. accurately, he will take his bag and lower his head and quietly, expressionlessly step out of the office.
Like clockwork.
Like a clock, very accurate. If you don't intentionally know he's there, he's totally invisible. You will not feel he's there. So he's just completely quiet. Yeah, and one day when we chatted, he told me that he has been in the same department for 40 years, for his whole career life. I was so shocked. He joined that department at the same age as I was in his 20s, and right after his graduation from the college. And in the same year, he got married, had his kids, and he just had the almost identical life for 40 years until retirement. And I was so shocked. And in the meanwhile, I have some fear. I fear that I may live that life as well, which is definitely unacceptable to myself.
That's so scary. You pretty much saw your whole life flash before your eyes.
Yeah, the feeling is exactly that when you start day one job, you will see your final day job, and when you start your day one life, and that is identical life when you retire. So that's the fit and the choice for him, but that's definitely not my life. I fear if I live that life.
The type of monotony, the type of just day in, day out, and that is your whole life. Yes. Probably would scare me too, frankly.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest reason to make me reconsider my choice, my life, and make me really want to seek a change in my career life.
Right. But I mean, still though, there is that inherent risk in entrepreneurship. How do you know that you're making the right choice?
Yeah, be honest with you, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was correct. I made a correct decision. I was very nervous. As you know, I was pregnant when I tried to decide if I should quit the government job. All my friends and family around me thought I'm crazy because the government job is stable. It is suitable job for a family person. And we are going to have a baby. The baby is a money eater.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, and I supposed to have a stable job and a stable income. Be honest with you, my husband and I were lost sleep for a few days before I finally made the decision and turned in the resignation letter. We sat down at our dining table and had a discussion for multiple times.
Yeah.
I squeezed his hand and sweaty and asked him, am I crazy? Am I making the right decision? What if I fail? And what if I cannot bring back any money when the baby is going to come out? Yeah. And after a few days conversation, I really appreciate my husband. He sat down with me and looked at my eyes, told me that I think you're crazy, but I can also feel that that is your dream. So we will support you. We will give us 3 years opportunity. If during the 3 years your firm goes on well, you just continue with that. But if during the 3 years you don't have any income, it doesn't go on really well, then you will consider to look for a stable job, back to the normal career path. And let's just give it a try. So I really appreciate my husband's support. I think for all the entrepreneurs, our journey is full of uncertainty, risk, challenges. Our family is always the strongest and powerful support. They are our energy station, so they are really important.
On the day you walked into that office with your resignation in mind, in one word, what did you feel?
Exciting.
Thinking back on the timeline, you started the company towards the end of 2019.
Exactly.
That would have landed you right in the middle of all of the craziness with the global pandemic.
Exactly.
And this is the beginning part too, where nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
There was lots of questions, lots of things, everything was shutting down. And you were carrying your baby as well.
Yeah.
You had just left your job.
Yeah.
In that atmosphere, having landed in what really appears to be all of the wrong time, how in the world did you find your first customer and get this started?
Yeah, Jackson, you're exactly correct. That's right after I formed my own CPA firm, the global pandemic started. It was like a bolt from the blue, all come sudden. I was like, oh my God, how could I, being a new entrepreneur, how could I get my new clients during the pandemic shutdown?
This was because it must have been like you timed it so horribly. It almost seems like, right?
Yes, exactly. That was really challenging. And also, as you mentioned, I was pregnant for my first baby. All the people around me, my doctor, my family, my friends told me that you are forbidden to go out, okay? Because the pregnant people are a group of high-risk people. If we get infected, the consequence can be really serious.
And I think nobody knew what the consequences was at the time.
Yes.
I mean, later on we found out that maybe it wasn't as, but at the time we had no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no clinic research, no vaccine, no medication, no treatment. So nobody knows if somebody got infected, what can be the consequence, and how can she or he be treated, especially when I carry a baby. So everybody discouraged me to go out. I remember my 2 feet got swollen seriously, and my back was very hurt, and I couldn't sleep in the night. So my body situation was also very challenging. Yeah. However, my firm, to me, the feeling is that he is my another baby. I created him I feel that I have the responsibility to make him survive, make him grow robust. So
this was just as much your baby.
Yes, yeah, I have two babies at the same time. One is my first son at that time in my belly.
The other is Fortune and Beyond.
Fortune and Beyond, exactly. Both of them are my dear babies. So after very careful consideration, I decided to select a few high quality social events before the fully shutdown. And attend those events. And when I attended, I try to have careful and thoroughly protective measures. I always wear double mask and always bring the sanitized gel and the gloves with me.
And you saw the writing on the wall too, right? Because at this time, other countries have started to shut down, but it might not have been here yet. And you knew whatever event that you went to, you had to be very selective because you don't know if you're going to have another one tomorrow. You don't know if a shutdown is going to get here tomorrow.
Yes, right. The shutdown was getting more and more serious.
So this was your make it or break it, right? You either land somebody now or nothing.
Exactly. If I didn't attend any event at that time, then maybe for the next half year, 1 year, there will be no event at all. So I have to...
And that's exactly what happened. There wasn't any, right?
Yeah, that was the fact. If I didn't attend the event, and there would be no event at all for another 1 or 2 years, and
you would have had no way to meet clients.
No way at all. I was very lucky. I didn't get infected, and every time when I drove to the events, I talked to my baby at my belly. I talked to him that, hey, my dear Angel, I appreciate your company and your support.
You guys are working together.
Yeah, we are working together, and mommy is chasing a dream. And I told him that everybody has dream. Mom is not only chasing my own dream, but I also want to set up an example for you. You will chase your dream and have some difficulties as well, and I know you will overcome that difficulty. And Mom loves you, and we will be fine, and our dream will come true. I always talk to him, and he kicked back for multiple times. I do feel he could understand, and he was communicating with me, and he was blessing me, blessing us. So we didn't got any infection. Yes,
he was your guardian angel.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I was so lucky that I got my first business client in one of the events.
Oh, nice. Tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. They were a very successful bakery company, pretty famous bakery company in the DMV area. And in one event, we talked, and for some reason, they were looking for a new CPA. I just market myself and tell him what can we provide, and ask what they need. After very short time, 1 or 2 days consideration, that client, very surprisingly, he called me and said, we want to work with you. I was so excited.
That was your first client.
First client. I told my baby, thank you, our dream come true, okay? And during the pandemic, for that particular client and for all the business clients, we knew how challenging it can be for them to survive during the pandemic shutdown. And, a lot of business, they just run out of business. They just permanently shut down because of the cash flow shortage.
It was horrendous. It was an entire neighborhoods, entire districts, downtown areas. Incredibly hit.
Yes, exactly.
And some of them still haven't recovered to this day.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them just permanently goes out of business. So for that particular our first business client, we helped them to apply and got around $1 million of cash from the grants and for the business loans.
That is their lifeline for sure.
Yes, that definitely rescued them during that tough time. So we are also very happy that we can be helpful and supportive to the business. Without a healthy cash flow, no business can survive.
And what's amazing to me about that story is, I think, all the times where you were, talk to your baby and that entire journey, it's not just an emotional thing as well. It's not just a conversation between a mother and child. There was a practical outcome to it, because I would imagine, the field of CPA firms, right? Or the act of acquiring new businesses for CPA firms. So much of that is built on trust.
Yes.
From the perspective of that business owner, to see somebody who is mid-pandemic, and then carrying her baby,
Yeah.
and then still going out and hustling to get more opportunities, to get more clients.
Yeah.
That is a huge trust builder, and it's a huge statement of your character.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we have a lot of clients, and we always have a conversation with the client. We will ask them what factor do you see the most important to make you engage a CPA, a lawyer, because we are all personal services.
Yeah.
And they all told me that trust. Yeah, we only engage somebody we truly trust.
So at this point, you finally got your very first customer. You got off the ground, and in the next couple of years or so, company kind of slowly grew, right, acquiring more and more business over time. But from what you were telling me, it sounds like there was definitely a bit of frustration in this time as well, because you're still missing that big client, that one big break that really puts Fortune and Beyond on the map. And 2 years ago, you landed exactly that. So tell me a little bit more about what that journey was like.
Yeah, sure. During the first 2 years after the establishment of Fortune Beyond, we were growing stably, and we got a pretty decent client base.
Yeah.
But most of it are small business, local business, and small individuals. We wish to provide more comprehensive and more complicated tax planning work, the advisory work to the bigger business clients and to high net worth individual clients. So we were really looking for a breakout. And very luckily, 2 years ago, it was on the 23rd, 2 days before the Christmas, I got a phone call. It's from a potential client. He called me that, hey, April, we are looking for a CPA to prep our public company compliance report. Are you able to do that? And I was excited to get that phone call because they are a really good client. They are one of our target big client. They are public companies, and
this is your first public company?
Our first public companies, and a very decent big size.
That's your first big logo.
Yeah, a big logo, big public company, our target and dream clients. And they say they need a very urgent compliance report. And they ask if we were able to do that because they already checked with another few CPA firms because their needs are very urgent and the workload is very big. They got rejected from a few other CPA firms. Yeah. That was pretty challenging. They need us to visit over 150 stores to verify some data. The 150 stores located in 4 different states: Illinois, New York, DC, and Virginia.
How long did you have to complete this by?
Yeah, after the store visit, we also have to prepare for a very decent, comprehensive report, and altogether we only have 10 days. And it was holiday. A lot of the stores, they close on Christmas Day and New Year Day, so that make our time even tighter. And
you had suddenly, from the customer that you've always wanted, this could make it or break it for your firm.
Exactly, yeah.
But then again, it's like, what happens if you don't do a good job? Because there's a lot of challenges there, which is like, if you agree to take on this client, but if you don't deliver, that could mean disaster for your firm.
Yeah, exactly. I think as I mentioned, it is a very challenging job, and I think that is the reason a lot of firms didn't take it. It's
too risky.
It's too risky, and the time was so limited. The workload was so huge. If we don't meet their standard or we don't meet the deadline, first our reputation could be negatively impacted. And second, we will sign an engagement letter with them. If we miss the due date, if we cannot make it, we will pay them penalty, which is about 10 times of the contract amount.
What would that mean for your company if you had to pay that?
That means we may have some liability. So that's a big risk for us. So that is, to us, is an exactly high risk, high reward opportunity. We need to carefully consider whether we want to take it, whether we can afford the risk. Because our time was limited, the client was waiting for our response. They want to know.
How long did you have to respond back?
A couple of hours. Yeah.
So they called you and said, April, in the next 10 days, we need you to go across 4 states, visit 150 locations, write huge report.
And you need to give us an answer by the noon, or by, I forgot the exact time, but just
here's 3 hours.
Just 2-3 hours, because their task is very urgent, and if they already got several rejections, and if we cannot take the case, they need to have time to look for some other candidates, right?
And on your side, if you take this job and succeed, this means your first major client, your big public logo, and really what's on the line here is the next big growth spurt for Fortune and Beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the other hand, if you take this and it doesn't go well, you're on the hook for penalties and from all of those contracts that's there. And not to mention, added to that, the additional reputation harm that this is going to do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We have to make a decision to see whether we can afford the risk and if we can make it happen. But finally, we decided to take it.
It's a done deal. It's signed.
Yeah, in the same day we signed to engagement, and also in the same day, my partner and I, we bought the ticket to different states. We have to depart next day. Our time is so limited.
You also probably had to cancel a lot of vacation plans too, because
exactly. I already have my Christmas vacation trip planned with my family and friends. And after we made the decision, I have to tell my husband and told my kids that I'm sorry, I cannot go with you. So you guys please go to enjoy the vacation. But I told my kids that mom will definitely make it up. On that evening, I booked a ticket to Chicago, and my partner, she booked a ticket to New York City.
Okay, and, so you guys go in separate ways. You got to start running these stores now.
Yeah, exactly. Each of us need to visit about 70-80 stores in the different states. Yeah, for my part, I booked the ticket for the next day morning, go to Chicago, and I checked the weather report. You know the weather in Chicago. It's
lovely that time of year.
It's freezing, it's snowy all the time. Yeah, I checked the weather report. There will be a very heavy, serious blizzard coming. And at the time when I booked the ticket, the weather report said the blizzard will come on the day on the next day after I come back to Maryland. I plan to stay there for 3 days.
So the ideal is you land in Chicago, get rid of it, and then leave, get out of town before the blizzard arrives.
Yes, I was. Okay. That was my plan, and I booked a ticket and hotel to stay there for 3 days. During that 3 days, I need to complete about 40-50 store visit. It was a very tight schedule. But after I landed at Chicago, I checked the updated weather report, and it says the blizzard will come early.
Oh, of course. Of course it comes early. That's how it works.
Yeah, it comes early, and it says the blizzard will come on the 3rd day I stay at Chicago.
So you might get stuck in Chicago, but you still had a bunch of stuff to do back in DC.
Yes, exactly.
You were on a tight schedule there.
Very tight.
What did you have to do in these visits? So you're showing up to a store to do what?
Yeah, that client, they have some product listed in different stores, and we need to take photos of the store and also some videos, and we also need to have some conversation with the staff at that store to ask them how is the sales of that particular product. We need to record the video and audio of the conversation. That all is the part of our comprehensive report.
How long would you be able to, like on average, each store, how long would you be able to stay?
Yeah, I try to do everything really quickly, but in each store at least a half hour.
And all of this is within their business hours, because they otherwise they would close. If they close, that's it, you're done, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we have to get all this done within their business hour. I need to plan which store I visit first. I make a decent route, a map. So I try to get up really early and get out of the hotel at 6, maybe 6:30.
Right.
Yeah. So I expedited my visit, and finally at around 5 p.m. on the third day, I finished all my store visit.
But this is when the storm is going to hit.
Yeah, right after I stepped out of the last store on my list, I see the snowflake drop down. Little by little, it just started. I rushed back to my hotel, and right after I stepped into my hotel, I see the wind start to blow really heavily, and the heavy snow start to drop, and within about 10 minutes, everywhere is white. The blizzard officially started.
They've covered everything. My flight was on the next day morning. I thought that there's a very big possibility I couldn't took the plane on time back to Maryland. Yeah, but I was really, really lucky and got blessed. The blizzard continued for the whole night, and it took a short break on the next morning. Just precisely in the window where your plane had to go.
Precisely for me. Very surprisingly, I could took off on time and come back to Maryland almost on time.
Was there a point where you were sitting in the airport, or you're on the way to the airport, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to leave this city, or what was the thought that's running through your head?
I was thinking it was a miracle.
That one break in the blizzard saved your company, really.
Yes, exactly. That small window saved us. Yeah.
How big is this report? Because I don't have much concept of what the output would be.
Yeah, it was a huge report. I don't remember the exact size, but I do remember that each time when we try to run the report, the computer freezes. So it just freezes the computer almost every time. It's a huge file. And when we turned in the report to the client on the 10th day, they were so satisfied, so excited, so happy, with a big surprise. They say, how did you make that happen?
They didn't think you were going to be able to do it.
I think this is their real sauce. They know this is very challenging. The short time, a big workload, holiday season, the store was shut down. They know everything. So yeah, they were a little bit surprised about our accomplishment.
I am so curious. What did you think happened on their side to make it so that they had to wait to the last minute to do this?
They should have been prepared for majority of the compliance requirement already, but maybe for some parts they missed it. They just find out they need to do that. They need to have that.
I can't imagine what that like that. The one guy that works there that's responsible for this, he's like, oh, wait a minute, we got all this done throughout the year, and then suddenly one day he's like, wait, what's not done? Wait, we have to do what? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were in a rush as well. They were very urgently.
They must have been freaking out, because somebody's getting fired if this doesn't pan out.
Exactly, I totally agree with that.
I gotta ask you this then.
Yeah.
How did you make it up to your kids? Where did you take them?
Yeah, we took them to there's a Williamsburg in Virginia. They have a
Colonial Williamsburg,
yes, Colonial Williamsburg there. My kids wanted to go there for a long time. They have a busch garden there, and they have a Great Wolf Resort. My kids always want to go there, so yeah, we had a trip there. He had fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
As long as you made it up to your kids, because that's really important.
That's important. He's my angel kids. I will make all my promise realized.
So the moment you finished typing up that last word in the report, what was going through your mind?
Accomplishment, because we knew that we did a great job.
You saved their company.
We saved their company. Yeah.
What would have happened to them if they didn't have this in time? Like,
yeah, they
probably would have faced some pretty big fines, right? Or
yeah, should be, because this is part of their public company compliance requirement. If they didn't meet that, they either be fined or be downgraded. So either way will be very serious and a negative impact on their company.
Now, before we go, I do want to talk a little bit more about your time as a 40 Under 40 awardee. This year, you were nominated and awarded the 40 Under 40 award by the Asian American Chamber of Commerce. Tell me, what was it like? How did that evening go? And, just overall, what did you think?
Yeah, thank you. I was so honored and thrilled to be recognized by AACC. AACC is such a prestigious and reputational organization in the DMV area. That night was wonderful. I see a lot of young, energetic, vibrant future leaders. And we connected on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So we continued to communicate in the daily life. And we do expect that we will have a lot of opportunity to work together, to collaborate, to support each other. That is wonderful. So I appreciate AACC provides such a high quality platform for us to get to know each other. Yeah, and talking about the Asian American community, I think we are a strong community. We have sharp people. We are ambitious. We definitely consider to give back, to contribute to the Asian American community, to make our whole community get stronger and stronger.
Well, April, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Jackson. It's my pleasure to talk with you.
Well, best of luck to you and best of luck to Fortune and Beyond.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Thank you. Yeah.